development project in Woodland Hills. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kathy Vara in for Carolyn Johnson tonight. This involves turning a golf course into a development with hundreds of homes and apartments. The people who live nearby say that is a disaster waiting to happen. NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us live now with the reasons why. Macy.
Hi, Kathy. Well, dozens of people packed the pews here at St. Mel Catholic Church in Woodland Hills. They wanted to come up with a plan. They want to stop the developers from shutting down the historic country club and golf course and instead building nearly 400 homes on that land. Their top concern is more congestion in an area that's already a very high fire hazard zone.
The looks on their faces say it all. Frustration and bewilderment over what's in store for the Woodland Hills Country Club.
I think it'll be the death of Woodland Hills if they go ahead with this project.
Built in the 1920s, the club and the golf course have been around for generations, sitting on 93 acres just east of Topanga Canyon Boulevard and south of the 101. The club was sold in 2020 and is now owned by Newport Beach-based real estate firm Aramis Capital. According to the project's website, developers plan to close the club and use a 20-acre portion to build 175 single-family homes, 126 apartments, and 97 rent-restricted senior homes.
What's your biggest concern about it?
The fire risks and just the changing the character of our community. It's in a very high fire zone, and it's a lot of units that they're considering putting there. I think it's way too massive for the area.
There are not arteries to get out of there in case of an emergency. I would call them veins and constricted at best.
The developers filed an application with the city of LA last month and claim their efforts will help address the housing crisis. They're seeking approval under AB 2011, a state law that fast-tracks housing permits in commercial corridors by bypassing environmental review and public hearings.
This is not a commercial corridor, and as a result, it's a misapplication of the law.
Councilmember Bob Blumenfield explains that Governor Newsom recently signed amendments to the bill, redefining what makes a commercial corridor. Instead of use, it's the width of the street. He claims the developers lobbied lawmakers in Sacramento to craft amendment language to avoid public scrutiny.
If this moves forward under these state laws, it never comes to a vote before the city council. I ultimately think this is probably going to be something that ends up in the courts.
Right now, the developer's application is under review by the city's land use or the city planning department. Bob Blumenfield wants to get clarification from the city's land use attorneys to make sure that this law is interpreted correctly before any further steps on the project are taken. Now, we reached out to the developers earlier this week, and I reached out to the project spokesperson tonight via cell phone. We have not heard back from either. We will continue to follow this story here on NBC4. For now, that's the very latest. Reporting in Woodland Hills, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
All right.